Okay, guys that are watching our replay, I hope that you're feeling beautiful and great today. Let's just start letting some other people in to join us. Hi, Becca. Hi, Becca. Hi, Grace. Hi, Steph.
Hi, Kath. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Did you guys have freedom again?
Yeah, yesterday.
Yay!
Hi.
The quarantine's an adventure, man.
Yeah, we did really great. And then kind of the last day got squirrely. I was impressed actually how well. I think we had practice, right, in the spring.
Well, exactly, right? When you couldn't go to the beach and everything, it's like,
Yeah. Hi, Meredith.
Hi.
Kath, I'm going to have to dip probably around 10 to 1 just because I've got a client at 1, but I will stay till then.
Okay, awesome. I'm glad you came for this part. Hi, Sandy. Hi, Sandy. Now I see your earbuds are in, so you can hear me saying hi. Okay.
Hi.
So I think that I've heard from a couple of people that may be late. And then there's another someone who may have to leave, like Steph before the end. So we're just going to carry on. And that's the beautiful thing is that you guys come and let it be something that really is able to fit in, and know that you have the replay to just fast forward to or rewind, whatever, to the part that where you left off, or rewatch the whole thing, because there's something beautiful that happens when we re-listen to something more than once. You get to absorb it in a different way, and maybe if you can listen when you're doing it as opposed to sitting and listening. Maybe if you're moving around like on a walk, sometimes you embody it in a different way, or if you're lying down closing your eyes or whatever, it's a different way to absorb it when we're taking in these things that are really about healing and growth and shifting for our heart and for our soul. It's really helpful to take it in various different ways, so that you give yourself an opportunity to absorb it on lots of different ways. Hi, Anne. Okay, so I am really excited to dive deeper into all of this with you guys today. I have yesterday the notes came so fast. I was just like, it was similar to what I felt the very first time when I was introducing our first theme. I couldn't even handwrite it anymore. It had to be typewritten. And if anyone knows me well, I typically go handwritten first and type second, but this is different. So there's a lot of beautiful information channeling through for you guys. And so I want to, it's packed with beautiful stuff. And so, yeah, I just want to be sure that I want to get into it with you guys, and just know that I'm going to be referring to some notes so that I don't miss pieces. Similarly, though, I did want to just explain that this feeling, I'm aware of how I'm feeling, and this I just really want to get it all to them. And it's legit, because it's just so much. I want you guys to know it all and be it all and start absorbing it all. And also, I'm very cognizant that this feeling I'm feeling is really aligned with the fact that, today Mercury went into retrograde and Mars is still in retrograde. So that beautiful duo together really creates this feeling of, can create this feeling of kind of not moving forward in the way that you want, it's not happening at that pace that you desire, or it feels a bit agitating, or it feels like things keep happening to slow you down. So what's beautiful though is the work that we're doing right now, and that I'm wanting to introduce today, this idea of really how do you lead from the inside out, and how can you deepen that beautiful connection that you already have and that you're cultivating more deeply with your heart. And so the key, right, is to be aware of what external influences are upon you in how you navigate life. So this is this beautiful, I feel like we're being given this incredible cosmic opportunity around us of kind of highlighting, oh, it's feeling, like things aren't going forward, things aren't moving in my way, but like, wait, no, I can just tune into my heart for a moment, take a breath and realize this is all happening in the perfect time. And I just need to be steady and rooted in where I'm at. Right. As opposed to like, it's not happening. It's not happening, and really focused on the that part. Okay. Alexia, hi.
Hi, sorry I'm late.
No, you're perfect timing. Perfect timing. Maria's just coming in now too. Hi, Maria.
Hi.
Okay, so I was just doing a little pre-jibber jab, and now I was going to go into just a little grounding thing, and then all this gorgeous content that is coming through for you guys. This is so amazing and fun, and feeling really good. Oh, Anne got out. She's coming back now. Oh, another Anne, a second Anne. Anne, you're in twice. Are you wanting to switch devices maybe? I'll let you sort that one. Are you okay? Are you having audio problems, Anne, or anything? Do you want to unmute? If you need help, let me know. You're good. Okay, fabulous. Okay. So here we go. I just want to pull up my notes over on this side of the screen. This is the moment where I wish I was like a really, techie person and had like two screens and like could like look over on the other screen instead of having this split screen. So, okay, got that set up. So now let's just have a couple deep breaths together just so we can get just more centered and grounded right in this moment in how you're feeling, because that's really what it's all about. So taking a moment just to close your eyes and just letting your breath become your focus. Just allowing the influence of your day so far to start to wash away. Any thoughts you may be having around what's to come or what you've already experienced, just letting it go and coming into this present moment, giving yourself the gift of right now, experiencing right now. Deep, loving acceptance of what's right now. All the sensations you're feeling, all the things that are present. Just deepening into right now. Encouraging the breath to lengthen so that you can invite in more presence with each inhale and release out whatever it is with each exhale. Not even worrying about labeling anything, just loving awareness as you deepen into acceptance of right here and right now. Just continuing to just breathe deeply as you embrace that sense of acceptance even further. Beautiful. Just letting the eyes open. Actually, we're just going to pivot for one moment. I just got guidance to just pivot for a moment. We're going to be really brief here, but I'm going to invite everyone who's live on the call here to take a moment to just share one word that would sum up how they're feeling in this one moment. And those that are not live on the call, I invite you in this moment as you're receiving these beautiful words, whatever they may be, coming forward, to just do the same, to think of one word that would describe how you're feeling just right here in this moment. So my word is charged. Becca.
Heavy.
Thank you. Shannon.
Stuck.
Stuck. Thank you. Meredith.
Resolved. Like committed.
Okay. Thank you. Maria.
Anxious.
Thank you. Grace.
Love.
Thank you. Sandy.
Hopeful.
Thank you. Anne. Thank you. Steph.
Drippy.
Thank you. Alexia.
Heavy.
Thank you. Okay, so that's really beautiful. Okay, I get it now. Just wanting you to just let the resonance of all of those words and the spectrum in which they hold to just be a point of awareness for a moment. It's a whole spectrum of things. A whole spectrum. It's one end and the other and everything in between. And that in a single moment can also be what you're feeling. And the consciousness of what you're feeling, you stated, but there's things underneath that probably the words that were spoken, you were like, yeah, actually, I could resonate with some of those words too, or all of those words too. There's a part of me that is some of all of that. And all of it's okay. All of it's okay. All of it, all of the feelings are meant to be felt, and the awareness of them in the magnitude that they are meant to be felt exactly as is right now. None of them is better than the other. Some may be more pleasurable, than the other, but none is better. None is more perfect than the other. They're all exactly as perfect. So it's so important as you move to understanding how to truly lead life from the inside out and deep in your heart connection, is to know that every single damn thing that you're ever feeling is absolutely perfect. So again, because so much, we're going to get into this. Let's just start actually another thing. We're going to get into this, but just be aware of that. We're going to move into, I just think we'll do it in this specific order before I jump all around on you. I'm so excited to share this today. Okay. So, let's do that. Okay. All right. Here's the thing. We're going to start off with talking about 2 key ingredients for how you can start to deepen your awareness and lead from the inside out. The key, okay, so the first, actually the umbrella thing is this idea of deepening trust in yourself first, right? Without trust, there's no way that you will endeavor to lead from the inside out. Without trust, you will continue to look to external influences to be the things that make you connect to how well you're doing. We've been programmed that way from minute one. It's even the way that, you know, I noticed even as a mom, when I became a mom, the number of conversations that were like, oh, are they walking yet? Are they sleeping through the night? Oh, are they talking yet? It's just like, that's when it started to become super alive for me. It's just like, my kid's doing rad, and I don't really care about whatever milestones. I mean, we need to watch for the big milestones. The doctor needs to be mindful because sometimes there are things that we want to be alerted about to ensure that our child doesn't need extra support. That's not what I'm talking about here, though. What I'm talking about is this idea that there's some external definition for what success looks like. And that many of us were taught in school that it was better to have academic success over being kind to our peers. That it was better to excel and be a champion at something than it was to be compassionate and a team player. This is the environment that we've grown up in. And so how can we naturally gravitate to this thing that is most natural to us, actually, where we are able to lead from the inside out if we're being made to think that the barometer for how well we're doing is on the outside? So we need to relearn and create more neural pathways of how do we trust the inside? How do we go there first? So deepening your sense of trust comes with 2 key things. Number 1 is love and acceptance of who you are and the truth that you are. So we really started working on that, you know, in our last 4 weeks together. But this is stepping now into more unapologetically speaking of that. And the second thing is truly radical acceptance of what's going on in your life and the world beyond your life. So this idea, first of all, of the love and acceptance of who you are and what your truth is. It's really important that you stand into consideration of how often are you really unapologetically being you? Not being concerned with the inner pleaser and perfectionist. Being able to say no if it really doesn't feel right to you and not feeling pushed and forced to say yes or feel like you've done something wrong if you are to say no. This is where you really are knowing like you are good enough just by being you. So remembering what I said in our call 4 weeks ago, I'm fairly sure I said it in that call. Your biggest success in life was the fact that you were born, not anything else you've achieved. I mean, great if you got first place in this or X letters behind your name, or you've achieved a degree in that, or, you know, you've been really successful in any of the various roles that you've taken on in your life and that you've been, you know, really great at caring for and giving back to people. I mean, all those things are wonderful, but that doesn't make you better. What makes you the best you is just you being you. Just you being you. That is like the best thing you can do. And knowing that this idea of looking outside often makes us confused in understanding if it's not looking perfect, that we're not doing something right. But the truth of the matter is, we absolutely are doing it right, even if it doesn't look perfect, even if it's messy. So I'm just going to apologize right now for those that are watching the recording. I just cannot anymore have this. I need to go back to the gallery view. Sorry, guys. For those who are watching the recording, if that feels distracting, I need to see all the beautiful faces, not just a few of them. Okay, so then it made me think, as I was connecting to like that deep importance, it made me think of this quote that I haven't read the book. Hands up if you guys have read Glennon Doyle's new book, The Untamed, whatever it's called. Yeah, everyone's reading it. Apparently it's so amazing. I look forward to when I create space for that. I just haven't. But there is one quote, so those that have read it will know, where she's in this conversation with her daughter, right? And her daughter says, is worrying about disappointing someone. And basically Glennon says, and I think this quote got spread around all the beautiful social channels, but said that basically the gist was, if you're not like disappoint as many people as you want, as long as you're not disappointing yourself. And is everyone having issues hearing me? No, is anyone else having issues hearing me? Okay. Sorry, it's just Maria, I think. Are you sure no one else is? Okay. Sorry, Maria. What is it sounding like? Oh, thank you, Steph. Okay, I'll let you back in when you come back. Okay. So, right. So the whole thing is like your job. So I think her line was like, your job throughout your life is to disappoint as many people as you can to avoid disappointing yourself. That's a huge and beautiful example of what it means to live unapologetically as you, because that's radical acceptance and love for you. And so really letting that be, there's a few things I'm going to point out as litmus tests for yourself for the next little bit. And really letting yourself be so aware of what you're saying yes and no to, and how it's feeling for you. And it's okay if you make some decisions based on, with that old pleaser hat on or the old perfectionist hat on. That's okay. Just observe it and then name it. You're like, oh, interesting. That was totally my pleaser. That wasn't feeling the best for me. Or like, wow, there's that perfectionist going again. Okay, we'll just like see that. But if you don't call it out, she's not gonna like get on out. You want her to realize that she's no longer needed. That perfectionist and pleaser was very much needed for you as a child, because it was the thing, those patterns developed because they were the things that allowed you to get the love, affection, and attention that you needed. So it started from such a young age. I mean, our parents did our best and whatever, but all we ever want is to be loved. So we're going to follow the patterns and the behaviors that give us the most love. So this, though, now you're an adult and you're on this beautiful soul journey, cultivating so much more awareness about the truth of who you are. And now you're able to say, oh, thank you, that old pattern. I see you. I appreciate you, but we don't need you. I don't need you anymore. Me and my heart, we got this. And I actually can be loved just for being me. So it's not a resistance thing. It's not a, shit, I did it again. Oh, just, when am I ever going to get rid of this? You know, like, don't be hard on yourself. It's not about that. It's about just like, oh, interesting, watching that. And then knowing that next time with that loving awareness, you probably won't continue making those mistakes if you're in loving awareness and acceptance of that. So back to what I was mentioning a couple of weeks ago too, I believe when I was chatting with Jenny about, you know, how would you treat a best friend and cultivating a sense of trust, right? You're not going to trust your heart. You won't be able to lead from the inside out if you don't listen to what feels okay, right? That channel just won't happen. So the way you cultivate that trust for the inside is to listen to what the heart's saying. If the heart's like, no, I'm too tired, I need alone time, please honor me. Or I just need to tell the family, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to order pizza. Mom's done for the night. I'm going to bed. I'm gonna take a bath and I'm in bed. I'm really sorry. I love all of you. Please kiss me if you like on your way, but I'm done for today. Or if it's like, you know what? I'm going to play this awesome music and I would love anyone to join me to dance right now because I just need to shake it off, you know? So whatever it is, but like to not sit in that overwhelm and then not listening to the point where you're so disconnected to yourself, where you find yourself run by anxiety, where you find yourself ruled by overwhelm and agitation and frustration, where you find yourself reacting over responding. Those are all symptoms that you haven't been in this full love and acceptance of your truth and who you are. If you stay in resonance of honoring the truth of who you are and love and acceptance, then you're not going, like the dragon mama won't come out. The anxious, like worried, negative Nelly is not going to come. Like these things will not present. And realize that if you've been in that pattern of the pleaser and the perfectionist for so long, i.e. not cultivating that thing of trust, then what happens is you may feel like it's a little more difficult at first. So it takes a little time. Again, be kind to yourself. Just do it in little ways, calling it out. Oh, interesting. There was that old thing. This isn't, or just like, wow, I'm feeling really overwhelmed right now. I'm like noticing how frustrated I am with everyone in my life. I guess I need to take a bigger, wider perspective here. How can I honor myself more? What do I need to do to step back and honor me? Oh, interesting. I feel super negative. I feel super anxious. I feel really like overwhelmed with those like emotions of like my mind racing at like 1,000,000 miles an hour and all of those things. Interesting. How am I not honoring myself? So that's one litmus test to be aware of. So, and guys, this goes back to basics. Like the way to get back grounded in is like nature, journaling, movement, nourishing your vessel with healthy things. So water was something that I introduced last month. This month, I give a whole bunch of yummy green suggestions. If you're not already on the green train, here I am, my green, one of my green juices today. These are things like literally, if I haven't had enough greens in a day, I'm not as happy. I just know it. Your thing may be something different. I just really think maybe it's just my constitution, but I think greens just make everybody happy. But again, that's just what I found. Okay. Second thing, so this idea, that's self. So this is first step, really honoring that, being aware of that. The second is this radical acceptance of what's going on around you. Sometimes things are out of our control. 2020 has shown us that in like Technicolor, like full on Technicolor, right? Here's the thing. When we think that we do have control of the outside stuff. And when we feel like, oh, it's us that can't control it, then what happens is you begin to internalize that feeling as if there's something that you've done wrong. And that is the most unempowering thing, because you've lost all control. Whereas if you stay focused in widening the perspective and saying, okay, radical acceptance here. The world is having a massive experience right now, a massive. Whether it's, and there's two camps that are really loud. There's the plandemic camp and there's the pandemic camp. And somewhere, once these two mountains start receiving the cleansing that will happen throughout this, we'll all meet somewhere in the center, in the valley, in this place of connection and unity. It will just happen. I'm not sure in how long, but it's going to just happen. But right now, for us, we don't know when it's going to end. All we know is that things are vamping up, right? Everything's getting more right now. I was talking to my mom and stepdad on Sunday, and my stepdad is he has a winery. That's his big business. And so it's been big. He's had to pivot his entire business, right? To accommodate this virus. And he had this beautiful analogy in his experience. He was saying, it's like a tsunami. Like the first wave hit and it was really crazy and everyone was in shock and couldn't believe what was happening and and then everyone caught their breath. And the second wave, as it's coming out, is more destructive in many ways. So I just immediately, and this was related to some of the themes that are coming through for this new moon on Friday. So you'll hear some similar themes in that message coming later this week. I was immediately received this wisdom, how important it was to share with him. And I think for all of us to hear is well, what if instead of oh my God, what's going to happen? Oh my gosh, this is going to be worse. Oh my gosh, we shut down. Oh my gosh, we're in lockdown. Oh, all the oh my goshes. And instead it's radical acceptance. This is really going to be tough. We don't know what's going to happen. Radical acceptance. I've been through hard things. I think I can handle this. The reality is you have the inner strength to deal with any of it. You've already been shown that over the last 7 months. You already been shown the resilience you have because you've gotten through this tough time. So radical acceptance, there's nothing you can do right now about it except to tune into your heart. So Jenny's just joining us. Hi, Jenny.
Hi. I'm just in my car, but I didn't want to miss you, so I'm going to mute myself.
Great. Okay. Okay, so then with that, so what does that really look like? This starts to look like adopting this idea that everything is happening for you. What if you were to come to accept this idea that everything is happening for you, and your soul, which chose to occupy this vessel, which chose to be born into the family you were born into, which chose to live this life and these experiences that you are living, chose to be born at a time when the world was going to be in this polar planned pandemic situation and all the repercussions of all of this, you chose this. So what if you were to just widen the perspective far enough to say, whoa, this is all happening for me. My soul was born here to grow, to evolve, to learn. So, okay, so what if it's that? What if you just took it from that big, big perspective? Okay, so here I am, just a little fragment. I'm just this little being in this small spectrum of like human existence, tiny, tiny, tiny spectrum of human existence. And I'm just this one me. Okay, so how can I, as this one, now you're tiny, infinitesimal in all the grand scheme of the universe and all the things, but your light is just as important as everyone else's. And so remember, if your biggest success and your main job is to show up just as you are with the beautiful light that you are in your truth, and the ripple and the impact that that can have in a positive way, if that's the thing you focus on, because you're just in radical acceptance of this is all happening for you, how you choose to navigate life shifts and changes. Because just all of a sudden it's like, I don't have control. So actually, let's not let that be a point of anxiety, but actually a point of, oh, this is actually all happening for me. It's not like I ever had control. It's like, wait a minute, this is actually all just for me. So what can I be learning here? How can I be more me in this situation? How can I dig more into the truth of who I am here? So it's like one of my teachers said way back when I was first on this journey. And I was really trying to wrap my head around this idea of like destiny versus like predetermined, like, wait, so, you know, I'm just like this pawn in this play of the universe. Like I have no say on anything. It's all just like, you know, described, or, my husband says it's all, it's just, I can't even think what his words are right now. Anyways, he always like says that it's like as if we're all like a, on a, like a computer game, like it's all just, and I'm like, okay, that like gets, like, it's hard to wrap your head around all that stuff. It's so big. Like, what is it all? What's the meaning of life? Why are we doing it all? The best explanation I ever heard was that it's determined when you're born. And some of you may have heard me say this before already. It's determined when you're born, whether there'll be a fire that will start on your stovetop. But it's your choices and the way that you respond that will navigate whether that fire is going to stay to your stovetop or whether it's going to burn your entire house down. Sometimes the house needs to burn down. And sometimes the choices you make in that moment, you're just going to catch it right there on the stovetop. So you always have choice. You never don't have a choice. You always have choice. And it's really this perspective and this like bigger widened view that really helps you trust and feel more empowered in the moment to moments that you're being given. This allows for this idea of expansiveness to come in and takes you out of this, like, my life sucks. Oh my gosh, things are so anxious. I can't deal. Like there's so much stress and overwhelm. I've got so much I need to do. It's like, wait a minute. Remember, it's only I choosing. We're not on to-do lists anymore. Wait a minute. This feeling I'm feeling is maybe telling me that I haven't been honoring myself. Oh, and wait a minute. All of this is actually happening for me. So how can I receive the gifts and lessons? Because my one purpose is to shine as I am. And knowing that your light is so important and bright, even though it's so tiny in the grand scheme of everything, but your light is so important that you just being in the truth of you is going to impact and create a beautiful ripple effect that you'll just never know about. You'll never know the impact of it. Sure, you may know, like, your friends say how much they love you, your family says the same, or you may have people you work with that, you know, mirror some of that back. It's only a fraction of the ripple effect you being the fullness of you is going to have on this world. And on this, because I think that there's this, you know, overarching like feeling of heaviness on many of us right now, and understanding how do we get ourselves around this. If you have not, hands up if you've seen the movie A Wrinkle in Time. Guys, this is a great one. Oh my gosh, everyone, homework is watch the movie. Seriously, this is a must watch the movie. This is the movie that is inspiring me daily. Seriously, daily. There is a part in the movie, I guess about toward the end, where you see how much power and overarching strength the darkness holds. And you see how much work and turmoil it takes, but then how much work it takes for the lightness to like shine bright, to allow this darkness to know it's safe, to just not be this overarching crazy thing. The visual of that is what is getting me through and has got me through the past 7 months. So please do yourself a favor and watch that movie to allow yourself to have this beautiful, inspiring visual. There's no better depiction I've ever seen with my very own eyes to articulate like what's happening right now. And for us to also understand, again, it's all happening for us and it's happening for the next generation. All of what's being shaken up and shifted and changed is creating a new world, a new way of being. Like the cream always rises to the top. It just always has. So for us to think that this is just the demise of everything and it's going to end really badly, I mean, I can't go there. There's just no, I can't go there. So I'm choosing, again, I have the choice. I'm inviting you to choose and join into this camp with me, choosing to realize, oh, I think this is all happening for us to revolutionize so much. To realize, I mean, I don't think anyone on this planet is coming out of this 7 months not more deeply aware of what's most important to them. I don't know anyone. The things they love the most are ever more apparent. Yes, in all of this, you've had to dig deep. You've had dark times, challenging times. Relationships are really tumultuous in many ways right now. That's just because we're all evolving together. We're all evolving, and when there's lots of like movement happening, it's like, it's tough. So yeah, it's not that it's all bliss and rainbows and perfection, because remember, perfection is just as much the heaviness, the anxiety, and the overwhelm as it is the ease, the calm, and the awesomeness, right? It's so important. It's all, that's radical acceptance of self, radical acceptance of what's happening around. Okay, I just want to touch one more time on this idea, coming back to this idea that you have been, remember, this is a really strong pattern. So you've been raised to think that the external influences are your gauge for right or wrong, success, unsuccess, like, you know, good, bad. Whereas really the true barometer and litmus test for how well things are is how good your heart is, how good your heart's feeling, because that shows how well you've been being you. So it takes work to release that go-to. It takes work to release that idea that competition is something that's necessary. It takes work to realize that kindness is actually the more important piece of learning over excellence or excelling at something. So, I mean, you know, even, I don't know, I don't know why this idea is coming forward, but like, let's say you've just decided because you love running and you like accomplishing things that you want to run a marathon. And so you train and you go and you're going on this training regime, you're doing all the things, everything's so amazing. And then like the day of the marathon hits and you are hit with something, you're so tired. You are like, I can't, you know, run today. You can choose in that moment to be like, wow, I've had such a fun journey and I'm just going to honor myself and really cheer on all those people that are running today. I know that they've worked just as hard as I did for it, and know that I need to honor my body today, and being me is exactly the perfect thing. Or you could say, oh, I've worked so hard. Well, I don't have anything to show for it. I'm not going to be able to have my best time. You know, like, it's so silly when you think about, I mean, I'm not dissing accomplishing things. I think it's really great to accomplish things. And it'd be really great too, to get your best time and feel really good because that was something you were being really present with. But I'm using it as an example because everything that we've been taught would show that laying in bed that day and honoring your body and taking a bath and just relaxing and cheering on the other people would be like the wrong thing to do, and that you failed in some way. Right? I mean, right? Am I right? Like, that feels so counterintuitive. But this is the whole thing. We need to switch this paradigm. That idea of achieving is not the be all and end all. The be all and end all is just tuning into what feels the best for you and trusting that. Trusting it. Trusting it. Okay, so how to step into this, really? Okay, I've mentioned a couple of things. Okay, first, let me just pause. Is there any questions? Does anyone have anything, or like just things that it's like that they just wanted to share, or like, you know, things that have come up, like anything, any things that they feel they want to clear? Yes, Shannon.
This is not just a suggestion on the movie thing. Please watch My Teacher, the Octopus. Have you guys seen it on Netflix?
I've heard amazing things. I watched a part of a first episode before I fell asleep, but I've heard, is it really great?
It's amazing. It's amazing, and it'll really tie into all of this and kind of like bringing the simplicity to things and the struggles he was going through before he had these daily encounters, and it was his daily practice. It's so good. Beautiful. You guys got to watch it. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, yes, Becca.
Do you equate the idea of like, sorry, I was trying to find a word, but like having and finding where you have choices to like when you feel powerless and like kind of out of control and you feel like that desire to strive?
Say it one more time so I'm just sure I get clear on your question.
Like when you were bringing up the idea of like finding where you have choice, right? Like I have a choice in this. Is that similar to when you find that people feel powerless in like their scenarios and then they start striving to like find momentum or control?
Yeah. So it is that, and it's just in every moment, right? So like, but yes, so often when we're in that, what you're describing, because I feel like there's kind of two parts that I'm feeling into what you're saying, but like that striving piece that comes is often a reaction based on that old pattern of looking outside to fill inside. So it's actually perfect for what I'm going to go into next, but that is like, yes, that's actually, thank you for underlining and highlighting that, because you know you're in the old pattern of outside to in when, yes, you're in that. of the kind of grappling and striving for control, you know, and this is where our society is full of this, full of this. It's so sad, right? Like full of imbalances that have connected, whether it's, you know, with substances, whether it's with food, whether it's mental health, whether it's any of these things. This is an absolute symptom of that external pressure, or external facade, you know, that we've been ingrained to believe is from the outside in, whereas it's from the inside out. Does that make sense? Is that clarifying that for you?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
yeah, you're welcome. That's it. That is like absolutely just the thing. So that if you're feeling those things, then it's like, oh, wait, without even knowing it, I was playing victim. I allowed life to be happening to me. There's nothing wrong with it. You're still perfect and beautiful and doing a great job. It's just like, oh, awareness. How can I shift it to happening for me? And how can I come to a choice? So let's release the good or bad, perfect or imperfect, enough or not enough. As we experienced in the beginning with everyone saying their words, it all just is. They're all exactly at the same time. And this is so easy for me to sit here and say in this moment, and I get how hard it can be when you're faced with the challenges. When you're in the face of those frustrating moments or those relationship challenges or those dark days or those anxious moments, like I know, but don't forget that you're a spiritual being having a human experience. A spiritual being having a human experience, not a human being only. Was there anything else that anyone felt just to clarify or share? Yeah, Meredith.
What is the plandemic? I've never heard that before.
Oh, well then, good.
Did I Google it?
It's a rabbit hole, love, that you may not want. It's your choice.
I'll Google it.
To be informed, I'll just like to be an informed. So there's actually, how do I navigate that? Yeah, you can Google it. So the Plandemic is a movie, but it's become kind of a blanket term I'm referring to for it's a whole, it is a movie that highlights some questions that, you know, is feeding a lot of what are called conspiracy theorists. So,
but the questions may be legit. Is this?
I think it's for everyone to know where they land in all of this.
Okay,
I found I really enjoyed. I really enjoy in life understanding the full playing fields.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of person I am. For me, it really feels good to have an understanding of all of it so that I can really realize where I fit in and what my heart feels like the truth is. So for me, watching that movie, there was one kind of preview that went out in the spring that created a lot of, you know, ripples. The one that I think came out in September, August, I guess, it's information.
Mm-hmm.
It's information, just like the information we're predominantly being fed. And I just think, so I am not promoting to watch or follow any rabbit holes just for clarity. I am just simply sharing in this moment my way of navigating situations is I really like to understand all sides. So even like in family conflict, I'm the person who likes to hear everyone out and then like, you know, come to a place. And I always even like, or, you know, if I've ever just been like, there's we've had a lot of friends divorce. We've had, you know, there's a situation with two very close friends here in town that had a bit of a falling out. Like, my choice in all of these situations is always to as deeply as it feels good for me, to understand both sides and then just find where I fit with what the truth feels resonant for me. So that's how I navigate. So yeah, so tread lightly and proceed with caution and decide what feels best for you, on all of the above. Same, I would say, for any news source or information center. I would say that same advice, because we live in a society based on external things, and money and power are two huge things about that. So we just have to really see what feels truthful for us, because money and power, has kind of got us to where we're at right now in all aspects of everything. And I think that's what's looking to be shifted and changed right now. And that's the beauty that I see, because that's the choice that I've made. Any other questions? No, everyone feels okay. So I think the first thing is understanding that okay. This how piece, because it's so simple that it's overlooked. And when we're really in the tornado of the external influence worlds, this feels a bit counterintuitive. But guys, it's as simple as getting still and quiet with yourself. It's being with nature. It's moving your body. It's nourishing yourself with healthy things. We all know what's healthy. We know sugar is not healthy. We know alcohol is not healthy for us in excess. And if you're really finding that you're having a time where you're immensely agitated, whether it's high anxiety, high overwhelm, high frustration, I would highly suggest you go off sugar and alcohol. It will be one of the best things you can. Like, I knew when my nervous system was getting really agitated, spring and into summer, like I just had to go off any stimulants of any kind so that I could just be really centered on myself. So for me, like, sugar, alcohol, we've had birthdays and anniversaries and Thanksgiving, Canadian Thanksgiving celebrations, over the past month. So there was a day or two in there where I went, enjoyed some of those things, but then right back, because I know right now with the energy that's around, what's allowing me to stay centered in my heart. So I offer that to you because that's how I can melt more presently into the stillness, into the quiet moments, and into the reflective times. So journaling also, as you know, I'm a big advocate of journaling. Journaling, your hand is an extension of your heart. You're able to speak things that you never even knew just by writing. Just by even sitting there and just saying, what is it that my heart wants to share with me today? And it can just start with, I don't know, I'm feeling, and then all of a sudden you've written a whole bunch of things. But remember, the external default behavior pattern influence that I'm kind of calling it as this umbrella is the thing that makes us think that we need to keep doing and keep being active and proactive and right? So they're the things that's going to keep us in this fast moving energy that's not entirely not entirely, it's just not the thing that's going to allow you to connect to your heart. It's not the thing that's going to allow you to navigate life from the inside out. And then again, movements, like some people like to dance or run it out. Other people, yoga is the thing. Often it's a combination of all those things for people, but just listen and honor what's right for you. Okay, so those are the how you can really start to release the external and come to that internal. And then how do you know when it's a heart decision versus like a head decision? The key distinguishing factor is that it feels expansive. It may be still connected to feeling butterflies, because that's excitement, but it doesn't feel restrictive and constricted. It doesn't feel tight. It's the butterflies you may be feeling with the expansive decision is still like, oh, it's like jumping off a cliff. Like, oh my gosh, I really want to do this. It feels really scary, but it's like still exciting, right? It's not the like, wow, I actually knew in that moment that my body was saying no, but I went anyways. And I know now it was a bad decision. I wish I listened to myself, right? It's like a different, it's like things tighten. They feel like, yeah, constricted and restricted. That's when it's not a decision that's from your heart. Yeah, and you'll know that. You'll be like, it'll be, we've all had these situations like, oh, I'm so excited, about this. And then let's say when I decided I was going to stop my master's degree and I was going to study yoga and Reiki. And my parents, I was so excited. I was like, this is it. This feels so good. I'm so excited. And both parent conversations, because I had to have it twice because they were divorced. You guys may have even heard me say this before, but I had to, with both of them, feel that external influence of disappointment. They did not approve. They were scared that I wasn't going to make money. How are you going to support yourself? All the things. But in that moment, I had that experience of like, oh, I'm like, there's the pleaser and the perfectionist going haywire inside. But I knew, my heart knew it was the right thing. And even though, there was this, outside thing that was telling me it was wrong, and by two of my trusted people, I knew that going forward was what I needed to go, because I had that expansive feeling, even though it felt extra scary because I was going against the two people that I looked to approval for. And the way to reflect back on what heart decisions, when you've made heart decisions, is heart decisions are the things that bring you joy. They're expansive and joyful. They may not be perfect though. It's like when we chose to move to Costa Rica. It was a heart decision to move here. Our souls definitely led us here, but it wasn't always, the whole process wasn't all perfect. It was really messy. But I knew all along that it was the right one because my heart kept saying yes. I kept having this sensation of this full body yes feeling. So that's a real important thing to look for when you're looking at and making these decisions, is the full body yes. Sometimes heart decisions lead to a place that is considered from the external world a failure. I followed my heart. I let myself love this person. It felt really great, and I jumped in with all my being, and then they broke up with me. That could feel like I shouldn't have listened to my heart. It wasn't actually right. But the lessons that, remember though, widen the perspective. This is happening for me. And so what can you shift into to realize, okay, what lessons am I learning from this? How am I meant to evolve and grow from this situation? So then there's this idea that I really want you to step into. So those two litmus test things of coming into when you're feeling like overwhelm, anxiety, any of those things that are keeping you, be like, come to that idea of, have I been in love and acceptance of myself? If you're stepping into that, piece that Becca was really speaking to about controlling and kind of grappling with things, or feeling like, things are a little bit more, feeling less expansive, more restricted. Am I can I come to more radical acceptance? Can I invite more radical acceptance into the situation that is challenging? And then the third piece, knowing then how do I connect more with my heart? It's from these practices of getting quiet, being with nature, nourishing myself. And those are all choices. You can choose not to do those things easily, right? But it's choices to make them happen. And then the fourth thing is to just sit, to nurture this idea of everything happening for you, and that you're, to foster a bit more of this a radical acceptance piece, is just really consider that every conversation you're having, every yes you say, every no, everything is all your choice. Kind of like thinking about it like you're this main character and everyone around and all the situations are here for you. And so you get to choose how you want to shine in this, in your show called life. How do you want to show up? How do you want to be? And I think if you get true with your heart, you would be in this place where you want to be in an energy that chooses love and responding. You want to feel good. That's why you're here. So then this is this beautiful reminder then to be like, okay, so I can step into choosing things that nurture me to feel good. I can choose things that allow me to feel my best self. And knowing that when you do this, this is all cultivating this feeling of trust so that you can fully lead from the inside out. Okay, so just realizing literally every single minute and bigger choice affects how you're feeling in each day. Literally, like what time you wake up, what time you go to bed, how you respond to the people in your life, the boundaries you set, what feels good, what doesn't, the places you go, what you say yes to, what you say no to, what you eat. Every decision you make throughout your entire day, what you choose to read, what you choose to watch, how you choose to breathe, how you choose to move, how you choose to dress yourself. All of these are choices that you have. And it's all of these things, just the awareness of this. So radical love, radical acceptance, honesty with how you're doing, and then just saying, okay, what do I want to choose? And that's why the journaling prompts, so I'm grateful for the reason why the journaling with soul prompts. It's the first I'm grateful for, because when you connect to gratitude, you're immediately awakening your heart energy. That's just what happens. But if you leave it there, sometimes it stays a bit superficial and a bit more like Band-Aid like, right? So we can go to our heart, but if we don't cement it with some other things, my feeling is, and my experience shows me, that then it just kind of becomes this fluffy, beautiful heart, but then it just floats away. It can, right? So first it's gratitude. Starting your day with, I am grateful for, what is it? It may be the sheets that you're lying in. It may be the sun that's shining. It may be the home that you're, in. Sometimes the smallest gratitude piece is the eyes that you can see with, the hand that you can write with. Sometimes it's about going there because life is seeming so dark around you that you just need to be literally like the ears I hear with, the lungs I can breathe with, the, whatever, the minute things. Then I'm feeling. What are you feeling? Okay, so I'm grateful for, I'm feeling this. So maybe grateful for all these things, but I'm feeling like shit today. Maybe you're right. Just as an example. You could also be feeling great, but let's just go with that example for a moment. I want, what do you want? Guarantee the next sentence isn't going to be, I want to continue feeling like shit all day. I want to feel my best. I want to have a great day. I want to feel productive today. I want to let my heart lead. I want to dance. I want to move. I want to eat healthy, whatever. And then I choose. So I'm choosing to what? I'm choosing to say yes to that friend. I'm choosing to eat my salad at lunch. I'm choosing to. So making that commitment to yourself. And then I ask the universe, so then is there some support you need from, this big, beautiful higher power that we have just around us? Is there just some support? So I just ask the universe for support in this today. Could be as simple as that. Those 5 simple statements can kind of support you in doing this work to start at least out on the right foot at the beginning of the day. Because as I said in our course page for this week, how you begin your day and spend your first 5 or 10 minutes of your day is everything. It's going to set the foundation for how you feel on so many levels. So choose wisely. Choose yourself. Choose this beautiful being that you were born as. Okay, so is there any questions before we sign off for today? Any shares or comments anyone felt that they wanted to offer out? Any clarifications? You feel okay? Okay, so just, this would be a good one to listen to again at another time, maybe like as a meditation, to close your eyes and just listen, to the wisdom coming through. This is really valuable. Some of it's really basic, but all of it's really powerful. And this is the part of this journey where you're starting to now become aware of, and then release some of the old patterns that, you have unconsciously cultivated in your life. But this is the beautiful work that really allows you to connect more with your heart and your intuition. Okay. Sending so much love with you guys and wishing you the most beautiful day. And we'll connect next week for our yoga. And enjoy this part of the journey. Just stay connected to those things that are truest to you. Okay. Love you guys.